Hello, welcome you, Professor Martin. So could you provide the comprehensive technologies PV, PEC, and these core principles?
Yeah. So I guess I've been involved in photovoltaics for a long time, and I've written some textbooks on photovoltaics. The beautiful thing about the technology is the way that it's so reliable, and the sunlight just enters the cell and you get electricity out without any moving parts and so on. So it's really very elegant technology, and potentially very cheap because it is such a simple conversion process. So we've seen the costs come down very dramatically, but it is a simple technology, so they can probably become even lower. Probably the cheapest way of generating electricity that's ever been suggested.
Thank you. So as we can see, there are manufacturers also produce the same technologies. How the PEC peak power technology differentiates for this kind of technology, innovations and performance?
I think that's one strength of the industry, is that so many companies are doing the same thing. So that provides opportunities for equipment manufacturers to manufacture equipment that they can sell to different companies, using very similar processes. But every now and then you need to improve the technology, and I think the transition to back contact technology is the next big change, and we're starting to see some of the pioneering companies make that transition. It's probably quite important that everyone manufactures the same technology, because that's a way to make all the materials that are needed in the manufacture cheap. You've got many companies competing to supply the same materials, and similarly with the equipment that's used in manufacturing, the more companies that are using the same equipment, the more effort the manufacturers can put into developing the equipment and making it cheaper and more efficient and so on. So, the homogeneous nature of the industry, I think, is one of its strengths. So the industry transitioned, to PERC technology, about 8 or 9 years ago, and the transition was very quick. So manufacturers quickly switched from making one type of equipment to the equipment specialized for PERC, and then they've changed to TOPCon. But I think that uniformity in the movement of the whole industry is one of its real strengths.
Okay, so at the end of the day, we just try to adapt to the market demand.
Yeah. So
that was wonderful.
It seems to be the driving factor is improved energy conversion efficiency. So, PERC was more efficient than the previous technology, and TOPCon was more efficient than PERC, and back contact is more efficient than TOPCon. So it seems like a natural progression. So the technology gets more and more difficult, but that seems to be one of the strengths of the present manufacturing industry, particularly here in China.
Encourage the manufacturers just to upgrade their technologies.
Yeah. So they seem to be able to do to adopt to more and more difficult processes, that just so that they get better and better at doing more and more complicated processes. And what would have been expensive previously suddenly becomes cheap when everyone masters the technology involved.
Okay. How do you see the peak power PEC technologies to enhance the market in the future?
Yeah. So PeakUp Power has this very lightweight module, and there's a big demand for lightweight modules, in that the electricity from solar is becoming cheaper and cheaper, so more and more companies want to use it on their factories and so on. But the factories weren't originally designed to take extra load on the roof. So having a very lightweight module just expands the market opportunities by, suddenly you don't have to reinforce your roof if it's not designed for a solar system. You can install these modules on a roof that without adding too much extra weight. So I think there's a real market for that. And then there's things like recreational vehicles and things like that, where the flexibility of the modules is a real advantage. You just sort of glue them down onto a curved surface, and they conform to the shape that, whatever shape that you want. So I think there's a real market for this type of product.
Great. So everyone just concerned about the safety and the durability, how the PEC modules, the peak powers modules standing out from product.
Yeah, there's a lot of experience that has gone into the PeakUp Power modules. So, a lot of companies are entering the flexible module market, but most of them don't have much experience in that area. So PeakUp Power is really based on, a decade of experience with flexible module design and so on. So they've had a lot of modules, of similar design out in the field and been able to capitalize on the experience from that. So it's a well evaluated and tested product. So I think, not all flexible modules are the same. Some have a lot of good engineering built into them, and others are just a product that's been, quickly conceived and put into practice.
How do you see the PEC Power's technology breakthrough for the market and the challenges?
Well, it's got some really strong features, like the lightweight is one strong feature, and then using the back contact technology means it's got, extra high performance. But I think the really strong point about the technology is the way the cells are interconnected. So there's a copper sheet at the rear of the module that provides all the interconnection rather than the normal approach of soldering interconnections between the cells. So that's a much more elegant approach, but much better suited to a flexible product. So that technology is sort of unique, and I think one of the great strengths of the PeakUp Power product. So that, is really a very elegant technology.
So looking ahead 2025, how do you foresee the Chinese PV industry's landscape?
Yeah, it's very tough times for the industry, but solar has become very cheap. So I'm just hoping that the world realizes just how cheap solar has become. Because, only 10 years ago, solar was quite expensive, but a lot of people haven't caught up with the cost changes that have happened over the last 10 years. So, a lot of people, in high levels within industry and government still think of photovoltaics as being expensive, whereas now it's, the cheapest electricity in history. So things have changed, and it just takes a while for the world to realize that and, get up to date with what is the present reality. So, solar provides the opportunity to go to clean electricity, and at the same time reduce costs rather than... The
goal is clear, just try to accelerate energy transition.
Yeah. So, I think solar has now become a real important factor in the energy transition, in that you can do that transition and save money at the same time, rather than the transition costing you extra money, which was the way people thought only 10 years ago. They thought, sure, solar's great, but it's going to cost us extra money. But over those 10 years, solar has become so cheap that now you're going to save money by transitioning from fossil fuels.
Yes. So they still have so much market gap we can develop, actually, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that, the market grows. Like the last 2 years, the market has grown quite rapidly. So I'm just hoping that, but many market forecasters are predicting a slowing down in the market.
Yeah,
but I'm just hoping that, the world realizes what's going on, and the demand will be increase in strength as people realize just what a cheap option solar has become.
So in front of technical point of view, what kind of R&D scenarios for PEC Powers probably play in the next 3 years?
As I said, it's a fairly mature product, but I think the cell efficiencies can still improve further. So the back contact technology can still, take the efficiency higher. So I think we'll see that happen. And then the range of applications, like PeakUp Power has a range of different applications on display here at SNEC, at the SNEC exhibition. But there's all kinds of lightweight products demonstrated, and the market will find really appealing, and those areas will be ones probably PeakUp will concentrate on.
We can just find the right applications, adapt the market demand.
Yeah. So someone will find one of the applications really appealing, and it's sometimes hard to predict which one the market will find the most attractive. But there's a range of new applications that the flexible, lightweight modules do open up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.